Hello, in this video today I'll be giving you a quick overview of what Glow now looks like, having a look at RM Unify and the Launchpad within Glow. First of all, to get into Glow, I've got my search engine open and I will simply search for Glow Login. Depending on your school, some schools have this as a favourite, some schools have this on their homepage. You can obviously add this as a favourite so it is quicker to get to. So if I just click on the top option that says glow.rmunify.com, I'll be met with the Glow login page. This might be changing in the future, but for the moment this is how it looks. So I'll type in my username. Our approach to usernames is still the same as it always was, and I'll put in my password. If you need a new password or you're not sure what your username is, please get in touch with SBC Glow by emailing sbcglow@schoolborders.gov.uk. So now I'll click sign in, and this will take me to this page. This is just simply asking me for an email address. This is so that if I get myself logged out, I'll be able to then reset it myself and get back in with less hassle. But for the moment, I'll click ask me later. Then we're met with what I usually describe as looking like the iPad sort of look, and we've got various different tiles. Some people recognise this as looking like Windows 8. These are essentially different resources, what we call them as apps, which are tiles that take you to various different resources online. So this is RM Unified, this is our Launchpad. Each of these should be personalised for our schools. So I've put in a school logo and we have put in a background of our school. These can be personalised and changed, so if you have a different photograph that you'd like to use, please get in touch. So now we're going to take you through some of the resources available on Glow. First of all, we have Books for All Scotland. Books for All is an electronic library for pupils with text difficulty. So, as it says here, this could mean that they have difficulty with ordinary printed text, and that could be through having dyslexia, having a physical disability, or blind or partially sighted. So this is a resource to hopefully help support them with their reading. So how it works is if I click at the top, I can then search for a book or an author. So I'm going to search for Roald Dahl, and here we have various different resources to use. Seeing here are for specific learners. So you have to actually register for their service in order to use their texts. There are also examples of Braille texts which are available from Books for All Scotland, from Call, but they have to be ordered obviously. So imagine that I'm wanting to access Diary Chapter in the World. All I click is download, and then I click open. What this will then do is it will open a PDF version of the book. You can save this if you're at school where internet is a difficulty and you're not sure how reliable it is. It is possible to save a copy of these for those specific learners. So if I scroll down, you'll see that here we have the text bigger than a normal book is, and we also then obviously have the option to zoom in. You can copy paste parts of it if you need to, because I know that there are issues with pupils who may need a different colour background. So on our devices, there's a chance that the normal settings will work and that you can set it to be a different background, but if need be you could obviously copy and paste parts of it. The other thing I would say that is really great with this is if I go down to my programs, I'll go to all programs and accessibility. All schools should have the Vono mini reader, so if I load this up, I've loaded it down there. What this now allows us to do is it allows us to highlight part of the text, and then if I press play, this will then
When I was 4 months old,
read the text
my
out to
mum
me.
died suddenly and my father was left to look after me all by himself.
So you imagine for pupils where the mechanical side of the reading is a difficulty, this allows them to then access the text more easily, and it means that they can actually look at comprehension and their understanding at their level and at the level they actually are. So that was a quick look for Books for All Scotland. What I would point out is that it does have various nationals and higher for those pupils studying at those levels at the senior phase, so they're all accessible through the same approach. Another library app that I'll point you to as well is the RM Books. RM Books is an electronic library. Slight difference is that you do have to pay for the books, so you pay to rent them. So for a book like Warhorse by Michael Morpurgo, that can be 23 pence for 7 days, 58p for 30 days. So it's not a huge amount. And what's really great about this is that we can get the smartboard, the whiteboard version, and if I click preview, you'll see that it is simply the text comes up, should eventually load up, loads in your browser, and there we have it there. And this obviously can then be zoomed into for people who might struggle to read at that level, at that size, and it can be zoomed out if need be. The other great thing about this is that you can embed quizzes and such like, so you can actually be assessing pupils' understanding as they go through it. In terms of actually paying for it, pupils are unable to pay for things at the moment, so your school might have to look at a system if it was the case of a learner was trying to buy it for themselves or rent it for themselves. Head teachers and management are able to put money into their account as an admin, as you see there, and they can then pass that money on to other teachers though. So it is able to sort of be passed around without expecting that as teachers you will be paying that 23 pence for yourself. But especially great if you're maybe only looking for a book or text for maybe a week or 2 weeks, instead of maybe buying various copies of it. So that's RM Books. The next resource that also looks at developing reading skills is Screen Shorts, and Screen Shorts is looking at developing reading skills through moving images. So at the side you'll see an option that says Films for Your Classroom. There's a chance that when you click on it, it might ask you to log back in. If it does that, there'll be an option over here that just says Login with Glow. If you click that, that'll be that sorted. So what we have here is we have a whole range of different videos that we can use in the classroom with our learners. It gives you some simple ideas of the sort of things they might look at. So Dangle is one that I've used a lot in my classroom. Obviously I'd recommend teachers look at these before using them with the class, just to make sure it's fully appropriate. We've got a description of the video, of the text, what's all involved. We then have text that we can play straight in our browser. But like I've said previously, some of our schools, that might be asking a lot, it might be a lot of risk involved, so you can actually download these in various files. So that means that you've got it stored away, it's there to use, and you don't need to worry about the quality of your internet. What's also great about this is that we do have a range of classroom activities available. Questions that we can ask, what to do whilst we're watching. Great thing about this is it actually gives you specific times as well, so you know I can stop it at 11 seconds and we'll discuss this, and activities to do with analysing and creating. The really great thing about this as well is that you are able to print them off, so you can have them printed off and as a resource right in front of you to use whilst the video is playing. So that's Screen Shorts, and for me that is a resource that would be great for pupils from primary school, nursery perhaps even, all the way through to secondary. Videos can obviously be used as sort of a stimulus, something to get something going, something to refer to, or they can be used to develop the reading skills themselves. The next resource we look at is Scran. Scran is a resource that's been around for a long time now, but I would still say in the borders it is underused. I find it great for topic work, but it is just super in that we've got a lot of images here that are copyright free, and we can use however we choose. So if I click on primary, it is organised into various areas. So if I'm looking at maybe the Jacobites, I can click in the past and then go to Jacobites, and here I'll find a range of different sources of information. So I can click on a certain person and it'll bring up various maybe images, maybe a letter. So if you're looking with your class sources of evidence, that could be huge. The other thing I say it's really good for is maybe looking at time study, maybe our town now compared to in the past. So in my base school of Earlston, if I put in Earlston, this will come up with a range of maps, photographs, etc. So you can imagine us using this as a resource of saying, okay, where is this? Where's this happening about? And then looking at, so this is what it's like then, what does that look like now? So huge options to compare. So that's Scran. TIGTAG. TIGTAG's a resource. TIGTAG's a sort of primary resource, first, second level, is massive, and it's for sciences and starting to be social subjects. So if I click on the curriculum, what you'll notice is that we've got Science, Scotland, Curriculum for Excellence, first level, second level. So if I may be looking at second level, what it is then is matched up to the curriculum, both the organisers and the ESNOs themselves. It tells you previous things that should have been taught prior to this. But if you imagine perhaps I'm looking at animals and living things, I can come here, I can click, right, we're going to have a little look at classification. And what we then have is we have various videos but we also have materials that can support us both in the planning, in our teaching and in our learning. So if I click on feature guide, this will help us. I can move this out of the way to show you. So I'll click lesson prep, and it gives me classroom visuals that I can use, so things that I could use around my classroom. And if I click back, I've got activity sheets I can use. So here's a plan investigation PDF that I can just take and use with my class. And what's really great is that I've got lesson ideas that give me different things that I can be doing with this. So for a resource to actually improve the quality of our teaching and learning in sciences and social subjects, for me, this is massive, a huge, very valuable resource. So we've got TICTAG for the secondary schools, and maybe for those pupils looking at the higher levels, and we also have TWIG, which is also matched up to national qualifications. So TWIG works exactly the same as TICTAG, and it is a great resource that I couldn't speak highly enough of. So that is TWIG. Next resource I'll just quickly point you to is Scotland on Screen. This is various videos from Scotland, mostly from the 40s, 30s, those sort of decades. Great if you are doing a history project, maybe using an interdisciplinary context of in the past. So that's a great resource to use. We've got the National Assessment resource here. We've got GoTV, which is available for live streaming events, and constantly getting new ones coming up. So things like author meets, and in the future this will have the potential to actually allow classes to connect with each other and to share learning and such like. Languages on Screen. This is videos in different languages. I would say mostly suitable for secondary, and some good videos and actually allowing learners to apply their knowledge of languages. For the secondary, we also have the National Qualifications course materials. As someone who's new to all these qualifications, I find this very useful. If I go to a subject maybe such as biology, I can then look at course materials, and then what this offers me is different resources that are being used and materials in different authorities. So it helps me understand the different practice that is going on around the country. So that is the National Qualifications. Scholar, I'll point you out to, is there. Scholar has changed massively since its first inception. In the borders, numbers of usage are still pretty low, but it has your maths, it has your sciences, your business studies, all your languages are there with some absolutely super listening resources. And what I'd say is really great is that it has got the new hires, the new nationals, and started to develop the new advanced hires. So as a learning resource for our pupils, this is huge, and it's something they should really be accessing. The other great thing with Scholar is what Glow now offers, and IM Unify, is single sign-in. So what that means is that the user, the first time they click on it, they'll put in their username, their password. Then what Glow will do is it will store that information. Next time they come, they click on their Scholar, it will take them there signed in straight away. And that's called a saved password tile. What we are looking to do is we are looking to expand those to having more saved tile password apps for both our learners and our teachers, just to make it all more easy to access these subscription services, and are becoming more and more popular. There's a lot more resources that I haven't spoken about today, and there is the Office 365 tile itself that will take you to Office 365, which is a huge part of New Glow and what we'll be looking at in future videos. Thank you for watching.